Scrapbookers. So I've been down on this family history thing, and I made this page yesterday with a photo that I found on Facebook, but I also had all of these printouts that I got online, and they're all to do with my grandfather and stories that he told and different things, like newspaper articles and that sort of thing. And so I don't necessarily have photos that go along with these, but I wanted to maybe do just a page where I'm just I am using the text and maybe some scrapbook embellishments, and that's it. So there's going to be no picture on the page. So let's think about that. And there's a story that I want to tell, or I want to find here, and it was about so in the 80s, my grandfather would get together with other people in Washington County, Maine, which is like Downeast, Maine, and they would tell stories about the olden days. And so they would like pick a topic. It was almost like This American Life, you know, pick a topic and then tell stories, but they were doing it on a much smaller scale. And so here he's telling the story about how the Fenderson name came to be. But this is not actually the story I want to tell, but I could put this transcript in a pocket on the page. So I'm just going to set that aside. And the theme of my page is kind of going to be like Downeast storytelling. And this is an article about my grandfather, and he was very involved in the library there. And there's a guy named James Pike who was, I don't know, he knew Lincoln, and so anyways, he had this watering trough, which my grandfather was interested in making sure it went in the right historical place. This is an obituary of my grandmother. I'm not going to use that at this time. This is the dedication of the establishment of St. Croix Island as a national monument, and my grandfather was also very involved in that. But I'm going to save that story for a different page with a picture of the island. So I'm also just going to set that article aside. This is also not related, but I think this might be it. Nope. This is also about an article. My grandfather was also the chair of the Chamber of Commerce in Calais, Maine. And so this is an article about the economy. So that would even go on that last office page, or I could even, like, this is what I do a lot of times, is I will just, like, I don't necessarily need to make a whole page of this, but this is my grandfather when he's in business in the 60s, and then this article is actually from, like, I think it was from the 70s or 80s. I think it was from 1976, actually. But I am just going to tape this article to the back of that scrapbook page so that I printed off a lot of these articles from the computer. But if I just put them into one page protector, they're going to get really thick. So if I just kind of sparse them out through the album, yeah, the album's going to get thicker, but it's easier to just say, oh, look, there's just one paragraph to read, versus if you see this pile of stuff, I'm less likely to say, oh, look at 50 pages worth of material. I don't want to look at that. But if I just saw one page, I might be like, oh, I'll take a look at that. And so I could embellish this if I wanted to, very easily and simply. I might just put a little bit of, say you just put a little washi tape on there, no big whoop, you know, and then if I had a picture, I could just put it here or not, but this, I'm just going to leave it at that, and if I wanted to put something else there later, I can, but also what I'm going to do when I put this in the album is I'll put another scrapbook page like back up to it, and then I will put both of them into the page protector, so that article is kind of like the little treasure that if you are really interested and you're looking at my scrapbooks, you can turn the pages over, so it's almost like a little treasure hunt. And I always, I'm gonna joke that I'm gonna put money in the backs of some of the pages, so that people can find that in the future. Okay, so this might be it. This is another one. Okay, it's the Alexander Crawford Historical Society, and that's where they're doing these recordings. And so that's another one that I want to probably put into this folder. Okay, here's one called Tall Tales of Maine, or Maine Tall Tales by Frank Fenderson, and that's a good one. I'll just put that to the side, and then this one, I'm still not finding the one that I want. The one that I want is about a Christmas tree. He told the story of how he went out and chopped a Christmas tree down, and he was so proud, and he brought it to his mom, and she was like, that's the wrong kind of tree. And so she totally quashed him. I don't know what that story was about. I'd have to look. Let me just see the next one. I don't seem to be finding it, unfortunately. Nope. And this is another, this is just about more, I never knew this. On his return, so after my great-grandfather got back from the war, in 1922 he returned to Calais and bought out the Joseph Lee Insurance Company, one of the oldest in Washington County, which he renamed the Fenderson. I never knew that. I didn't know he bought an existing business, and I did not know that. You can still learn things on the internet. Okay, so that's another kind of business story that would relate to this page that I was just here, and so I don't know. It might just go in the album like this, so you would actually see, oh look, there's two. I know that doesn't look very pretty. But the nice thing about washi tape is that you can, it's easy to pick it up, so you can reposition it and it will still stick. Now I don't know how long that will last, how long it will be like re-sticky like that. Just get one more, actually a piece of painter's tape, and I'm just gonna kind of tack that on like this. And so if you were reading that, you could look up, but you can also see, oh look, there's something underneath there too. I wish that came out just a little bit further. Hold on, I'll just get one more little piece. So it's very obvious. So even though this is very hidden, you can kind of see there's more to be looked at if the person looking at the album wanted to look. And that's not all really fitting. I might put a paper clip in here. I'm going to put a paper clip in here. Let's just see. Well, I was looking for a metal paper clip, but I just found this. Okay, this is going to be a little bit weird, but we don't need all of this. This is just like an advertisement on the that was on the computer, so this is just going to be folded so you see the beginning of the article, and what I would like to do is kind of lead the reader's eye right to the part that I found. Yeah. See, I can't find it. Okay, I just found it. So I'm going to fold, actually, all of these pages up. down like this, and then this is where the paper clip's going to go. So we know there's more, there's more to be looked at. And then I will just cut out this little, it was like that article I was telling you about. I was going to make a whole nother page, but I can't find let me see if I can find it. I'm going to put this down here, so you'll just see there's like more to be looked at. So not every one of your scrapbook layouts needs, and I could just put it in the album just like this, because that's kind of interesting enough. But I do want to highlight this part here that we're talking about my grandfather, and so I can do that too with some washi tape, and I'm going to I just picked one up, and it's red. And I'm just going to kind of point to, it's a chevron, but you can kind of use it like an arrow to where it talks about my grandfather. So rather than like marking his name, I've just kind of brought your eye to it with that washi tape there. There we go. And I'm just going to put another piece of washi tape up there. And that's not really what I intended for this page. I think I'll put one more paper clip on there just to hold that down a bit better. And I know that's going to make my album a little bit lumpier. It's okay. And I will just cut this little typewriter dealy out so that we're getting a little bit scrapbooky with it, so we can call it a scrapbook page. I don't need that, but it makes it cute. Cuter, I think. And I'm just going to tape that down. So even though that's paper clipped down, I will just tape that down to the page so that, there we go. Ta-da. And I'm just going to show you how I'm going to just put this part in to an album. So I have an album called Ancestry, and actually I have several albums called Ancestry, and this is the one. So I have them broken up. I have some of them broken up by decade, and I have others broken up by the family, like which family I'm talking about. So I just wanted to show you, this is an album, and this is pretty random at this point, but just see on this page here, I've done the same bit. So there's a scrapbook page about me and my dad, and then on the back I've just taped his obituary. And so if I wanted to put all of this in the Fenderson album, I could just slide this in, but I think I'm going to give it its own page. Let's see. I also have this, which is a different side of the family, and then I've got this page, which is, so I do this kind of a lot, is there'll be more, oops, that's 2 pages, but a lot of times there is more on the other side of the page. So I'm really, you know, using up all my space in these albums because the albums are you know, they take up a lot of space. So I like to be thrifty about the space. So that's 2 little pages. They're going in, they're like 8 by 8 or 9 by 9, I'm not sure, but they're just going into this one page protector that's going to be, this is the Cunningham side of the family. But now the Fenderson side of the family, I can just slide this into this page protector. I'm going to have to be a little bit careful about the back side because I have all this going on. But I think I will leave it like that. But like the one with my dad and the obituary, I'd probably slide another another into the other side. But that's how it would look in the album. And then if I wanted to, I can put another scrapbook page over this. So there's like a, you know, little bonus in there. Just some other. Oh, you know what's so interesting is like sometimes your story kind of continues. So my I made this page a while back about the Boston gas tanks in Boston. There's some redundancy, but we always drove by these, and there was a nun who painted on the gas tanks, and I thought it was so interesting. Well, what happened with my family's property in Calais is that a gas company wanted to buy it, and this happened a few years back, and oh, I don't think I have it printed out, but they wanted to put, you know, gas tanks on that beautiful land, and I think it would be very interesting to put the article about that on the back side of that page. So you can, if you think of the back sides of your pages, you can really, really expand the story. But I'm not actually finding what I wanted to find. So that's not helping at all. So I think what I will do is I am going to make a page because I said I would, and so I will. So I'm going to just take this where he's explaining the Fenderson name, and I will make a page about this. And the rest of these pages can go into, oh, where can they go? See, this is where it's it's really good if you can attach the photos to the story, because if we just put everything into a file, and a lot of things do need to go into a file, because if you just kept putting them into your scrapbooks, they are going to get so thick that they will be unmanageable. But the more storage you can get into the scrapbook, I think the better. But these papers, I think, are going to go into just my family history records. So I'm going to just put them back into this envelope, and I'm going to just walk across the room. I'll be right back, and put them with some other old family documents that I have. And so, really, it's almost like, you know, yeah. I'll probably find them again sometime in the future. But I have this kind of idea of storytelling and Maine, because I was just re-listening to, I did a class at Get It Scrapped and Masterful Scrapbook Design, where we did breaking the rules of design and scrapbooking. And so we take a design rule, like a graphic design rule, and then break the rule, and ta-da. Yeah. And so anyways, they did an interview of me, Debbie Hodge did an interview of me before the part about the breaking the rules, and I re-listened to that, and she was asking, like, what about your, like, why are you inspired to, why do you want to, why are you so passionate about scrapbooking? And I was like, it's because, I don't know, I think it's because the storytelling is really built in. And so what I would like to do is make like a pocket page. And it's really going to be like, We Are Storytellers. That's the title of the page. And then it's just going to be a pocket. So let's cut this page in half, because it's got a nice map. I like that idea. and I probably will cut it just about here. And then I usually will do some stitching, and so I need just a background, kind of a sturdy piece of paper. And I've been really wanting to use this page here, and I know I'm going to cover up a lot of it. So I can trim this down a little bit because there's a big margin on here, and I think that's going to help me. So let's just see about that. And so I'm going to be bringing out my sewing machine. I'm going to just cut this. I want to keep, though, the bottom of this page has the website address, and I don't mind cutting off the HTTP part, but I want the whole website address to still show up, which it is. So that's www.mainthing.com/Alexander and then /interviews, and that's where that is. And then I can't really cut off the tops. Oh, I guess I can. Yep. Let's cut those just a little bit. So there's that. That's just printed off from the internet. And now with this one, I think I'm just going to fold it so that you're going to get both of these stories. And you'll be able to see that on the page, and they're not going to be taking up the whole page. Because the thing is I want this to look interesting. And that's how, like, I've got so much family history, so much in terms, like, I have a whole filing cabinet at the office of my grandfather and my dad's family history documents. But you know what? If you just looked at them and you didn't really know what was in them, you would go, oh, that looks like a lot of boring stuff. And it does. It really does. So maybe I'll do it. I really liked that map. But I like the idea of this ledger being in the front. But the ledger paper is more sturdy. It's got a little blemish on it, which is really bugging me. And it shouldn't, because I can just like kind of put a little washi over it. So let's get over that. And I want, like I said, I want to cut this in half. And I think I'm going to leave this bottom part on just because it's, so this is like the scrapbooking label. It's like, but part of my story is that I'm a scrapbooker and I'm a storyteller, and so I'm not going to cut that off. I'm going to leave it on there. So I'm cutting that to about 7 inches high, and it's going to go the whole length of, so it's going to, the pocket's going to look like this. But then when I make a pocket and I'm using machine stitching, I need to stitch the top before I stitch the rest of it. So let me do that first. Okay. I'm going to move my sewing machine over here. And this is really when, I've got a tanker desk. I should really have the little arm of it out, and I could put the sewing machine on the arm. But I'm not going to do that. I could, but I'm not gonna. There's these little like slide out desk surfaces within my desk, and I saw that old picture that I showed you in the beginning of this video. Well, they had tanker desks, and they put the really old heavy typewriters on those little slide outs, so it could certainly hold this like relatively lightweight sewing machine. Okay, hold on just a second. Come on, turn it on, that would be good. Okay, so I've just done that stitch across the top, and then my tension isn't really great. That bugs me. But for pocket pages, I really love the strength that you get normally in a, I think this is the tension, with the machine stitching, and I like that over using adhesive. And I also like not using adhesive on a pocket page, so I just have these two pages. I'm just putting them together. There's no adhesive. I'm just sewing them together with a sewing machine, and I'm just lining them up as straight as I can, and I'm just going to try to hold them there straight and hope for the best. Okay. Okay, I messed with the tension a little bit. And the tension is, for me, it's this button here. At least I think it is. And there's different numbers, and it's just how tense or how tight your thread is when you make the stitches. And the first ones that I made, the tension wasn't all that great, and so I increased the tension. And if you are sewing and you're scrapbooking, sometimes if you're not getting the stitch the way you like it, try messing with the tension and see what happens. Not guaranteeing anything, just sometimes that works. So sewing can be a really great addition to your scrapbooking, but when your sewing machine doesn't work, it can make you very unhappy. So I have a handy husband who can fix my sewing machine when it breaks, but I also recommend just buying kind of a cheaper, I've got a Brother sewing machine here that was about $80 on Amazon. I'll put a link in my blog post with an affiliate link. And my affiliate links don't cost you anything more, but if you go to Amazon or you go to my blog, click through to Amazon, and then whatever you buy while you're at Amazon, I get 4% of that, but it doesn't cost you anything more. But that goes to help me pay for my type pad blog, which cost me like $160 a year. So it's not a lot, but it does help to defray that cost. So if you go to the affiliate link and buy anything that you would normally buy on Amazon through my link, I would appreciate that. But thank you. Okay, one more pass here. And so the theme of this page is really, and also, okay, a couple things. People from Maine, and also Irish people, but they're known storytellers, right? And so I grew up, my parents were divorced, but I grew up in Calais and Downeast, Maine, and then I also grew up in Massachusetts, and largely, like a lot of time was spent with my Irish grandmother. So I kind of got like the storytelling from two different directions, but both sides of my family had that history of storytelling. It's just built in, you know. So I'm going to use some more paper clips just to kind of keep these together and to add some interest. And, you know, in my scrapbook, I don't want every page to be a pocket page, but if you can do this every once in a while, it might encourage your people to then go back to your other files where you've got more of this information. So this is just kind of like a, what's your appetite? So there's, okay. And on this page, it's like I've got, because I've just printed that out from my blog, it's got like a link to the hyperlinks to Hallmark, but I don't really need that. So I can use this opportunity here as a place to put an embellishment of some sort. So let's see what we got. I could just do something like that. Let's see what else I have. I've got some stickers which might be really easy to use if I've got something that will go right there. Remember these moments? Yeah, maybe. Nope. These moments, that's what he said. That's funny. They made stickers like, that's what she said, that's what he said. I do think that's funny. This sticker is going to be a little bit too big for that space, maybe. I would have to cover up some of the words, and I don't really want to do that. So let me keep looking, but I don't want to look too long or too far, because that's when you can kind of get caught up in, here's another sticker sheet. But if you're, oh, this is kind of cute, like filed. I like that. So I think that sticker might go up here. And that could be the little note, like, for more, look in. Or just like, this is the tip of the iceberg. I just want to write a little note with a Sharpie on that sticker. I already don't really like the placement of it, but I'm going to leave it anyways. So this is the tip of the family history iceberg. Go look. And that just encourages them to go and look. But it's not the sticker that I want over this part of the page, but that may be a great place to put a different sticker and then have 1, 2, and 3. And then I can also write some text over here, perhaps. Let's see. I wish that didn't say thanks for everything, because that would be a great place to put a sticker. But what you can do if you have a sticker that doesn't really say what you want it to say, so that's not my sentiment, but let's think about, what about if we put another sticker like over it? I don't know. I'm already regretting that. I don't think I like that. So I have this theory of pick it and stick it, but you don't always have to leave it. But it is more difficult if you're picking it back up. So now I'm thinking, oh, this might be good. There's a typewriter. I like that idea. I had a bunch of typewriter motifs. That's not necessarily the one I want, but I was working on a page yesterday, and the one I showed you at the beginning, and I had pulled a bunch of papers, so I'm just looking at that little stack of papers that I had on my desk, and trying to find something quickly. So I could just cut a little typewriter out and put it there. I think I have a sticker sheet that goes with this. Let me see. I do, but it doesn't have a typewriter on it. Oh, it did have a typewriter on it. and I use that. So cannot use that part, but I do like these little arrows that say noted and recorded, and that might fill up that space. I don't think it does though. But that's like an old-fashioned pen. I like that idea. I'm not so I'm just trying to figure out a way to kind of make this into, and that is sticking out on the back. And it's sticky, and I don't want it to be sticky back there, so just taking a different piece of paper and sticking it to the back of that, and then I'll cut it out so that's not sticking where I don't want it to stick. Does that make sense? I think it does. Okay, so the story of this page is that we are storytellers, and I think I might just write that in this empty space here. And I don't think I want to do that with a Sharpie. I'm going to do that with a ballpoint pen, which we don't usually use in scrapbooking, but oops, maybe that's why. Okay, so someone asked why I am driven to scrapbook and tell my story. Maybe it's in the DNA. I'm also thinking about taking that Ancestry DNA test. Yeah, I really want to do that. It's down to $100. It's like $99 right now, but sometimes it goes on sale for $89, and it was on sale for $89, I think, over this past Memorial Day weekend. And so I'm going to wait for it to go back to $89, and then I'm going to order a bunch of them and get a bunch of us tested. So someone asked why I'm driven to scrapbook and tell my story. Maybe it's in the DNA. Frank Fenderson was a Downeast storyteller. And I could say, like, so is Grandma Grace. I think I will. And so was Irish Grandma Grace. So I would say 2 of my 4 grandparents were, like, avid storytellers. Yeah. Avid. I mean, like, I'm an avid scrapbooker. They were avid storytellers. They really were. So there we go. And that's recorded there. And so where do I want... okay, so I'm just going to say 1980s tape recording transcripts I found on the internet at www.mainthing.com/Alexander interviews. So that way, even if this page comes out, which I don't expect it to, but that's the link, my grandfather Frank Fenderson told Downeast stories, including how the Fenderson name came to be, and of Christmas trees and lots of other interesting this American life type stories. He would have loved podcasts and the internet. He really would have. And I'll just sign my name, Katie. Because what happens is I have old scrapbooks from my ancestors, and I don't know who made the book. I know who's in the book. I don't know who made the book. That's very frustrating. So I usually will sign my text, and I'll date it too. So, and I don't necessarily always date the date unless it's important, but I'll just put the month and then the year. So you kind of know when that occurred. So put these back in. And so, yeah, you can't really see all of this text there. I'm not worried about that. But you can, it encourages you to open it up. And so what I want to write, what I want my title to be is Downeast and then Storyteller. And I have a font that I used on that other page that I would like to use again if I have enough of the letters. And if not, I'll need to think up something else. So if I spell Downeast, and I need it to be contrasting enough from this. So you D-O-W-N, where's N? N, yep, and then E-A-S-T, yes, I can do it. And so I'm going to spell that out backwards, starting from this side of the page. And I just found there's this show on the History Channel, which, okay, when I spell things backwards and talk at the same time, I will usually then just write out the word, not because I don't know how to spell Downeast, but because I start yapping and stop thinking about what I'm spelling, and then I miss letters. That's happened. And I have scrapbook pages like that, and I have not corrected them. I don't care. I just leave it. Okay, what I'm going to do so that I'm making these letters all line up, I'm afraid I'm not going to, is I'm going to use a piece of washi tape, which will serve as like a grounding place for these letters to sit, because otherwise they do look like they're floating out there, and I'm not getting them on there straight. So I'm just looking for a piece of washi. I would like a chevron. I think I have a black and white chevron. Oh, I can't find that, but I can find this polka dot. That will be just fine. So I'm just gonna, now I don't know how long Downeast is gonna be. Oops. I'm just going to put 2 pieces of washi tape there. So if I can do 2 pieces, maybe I can find that chevron. Or not. I don't see it. This would be really cute if it was typewriters. But it's cameras, and I don't have a... I think that's going to be too busy. but I just want to make those letters so that they're going to stand out against the background and so that they're going to go on there straight. You know, when you're placing letter stickers on a page, I think there is a time when it's cute to, I found the one I was looking for. This is the one I was looking for. It's cute sometimes to make them all wonky like, but if you're going to not do that and make them look straight, make them straight. So choose what you're going to do and then like fully commit. And that is an improv concept, is to fully commit. So I am trying to make these straight. I'm going to line them just up against the bottom of that there. And by placing that washi tape, it does make it easier to line the letters up. See that? I think that's showing up. Enough? Okay. Now I need an A. So what else can I tell you? I've got to clean my house. We're having a big party here tomorrow. And it's not, I mean, I can do it, but it's just going to take I need to drink a few cups of coffee. Get myself all like in the cleaning mode. It's not so much cleaning as it is organizing. So that one says New York, which I don't think I want to use that one. And then this one is red. And it shows up enough. The other one was this blue color, and I didn't want to put another one of those so close to it. I think you can read that. It's not perfect, these letters, but I still like them a lot. I really do. D-O-W-N. Yeah, and see, the N is another white one, so I didn't want to put the white one in there. I want these to look a little bit random. Oops. And I guess I should be smushing them together a little bit more. A lot of scrapbookers will kind of measure out their letters before they put them down, and I think that's a great idea, but I also I kind of like the randomness of just plopping them down without a big plan. I think it's more fun. But I like to kind of know where I'm going with it, but then not overplan it. I was going to put that one upside down, and then I decided against it. Okay, and now D. It's going to be this yellow color, which is the same color as the T. I think that will probably work. Yeah, even though that kind of goes off the grid a little, I think I want to extend the washi out. And the nice thing with washi is it's very forgiving, so I can fix this little, like, it didn't go far enough, and I put a little bit more on there, and you can't tell. I mean, you know, but somebody looking at the page wouldn't necessarily catch up on that, or pick up on that, I should say. Okay. And they just match up these lines. Hold on a second. Ta-da! Okay. The same with that other one. Yeah, washi is a really great tool for scrapbooking. I watched a video on it on YouTube the other day, and it was something that they were using in Japan. They needed something to be not very sticky, and outlining these letters just a little bit. just so they kind of stand out against the background. And I actually like how the pencil makes them a little bit sketchy, like so they're not perfect, because it doesn't show up that much, whereas like if I used a Sharpie it would show up kind of a lot. But that just gives them a little shadow and makes them stand out, I think, a little bit more. And I'm intentionally making them kind of scribbly. I did this on the other page too, but I did it just a little bit differently. What was I telling you? I forgot. So when you're putting letters against a background, I think it's nice when they stand out. You can have them blend in and like do a tone on tone thing, but this is not a tone on tone thing. And so if I don't kind of delineate these, they just get a little bit lost on the page, and don't want that to happen. Because I really like these letters. I love them. I've had them since 2009. I can't believe I haven't used them yet. I guess I just thought they were so awesome. And they are. Okay, so now I need a different, might be nice to have green, because green will contrast with the that red background. But I do have these letters that I just picked up, and they are all different colors. I don't think I want to do that. The colors blend enough, but I think I want to have green. Or maybe these, because it's going to be like tall tales, you know? Let's just see. Downeast Storyteller. Storyteller. So I first just want to make sure I have enough letters, and then I'll just test this one to make sure it looks good against the background. I don't know. I guess it might. I don't know. So I'm going to write out that letter again, the word again, and then